Today, Amazon Accelerate continues with Amazon revealing lots of information from direct insiders at Amazon. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and in this particular conversation, I will be talking about some of the highlights, and it's pretty heavy on logistics as well as what you need to do for Q4, so this is going to be a good one. Thanks so much for watching. One of the key highlights from Amazon's keynote presentation came from the VP of WW Supply Chain, Devesh Mishra. Bottom line, Amazon's working quickly to better handle the expected unprecedented seasonal demand in Q4. And we saw this based on the fact that they're limiting what you can ship in, basically a 90-day supply maximum, every SKU in the entire world. In addition to that, the IPI scores went up, and you couldn't ship in as much storage as you would normally under those circumstances. So they talked about using advanced data and machine learning capabilities as well as rapid new investments in infrastructure that they've put together. And they note that those investments will weigh on the margins and cash flow a bit in Q3 and Q4 for Amazon specifically, which is kind of interesting to think about, but it's a very much needed investment. So Amazon always focused on growth for like the first 13 years, and they started turning a profit following that. And honestly, they probably need to focus again on infrastructure for the next 2 years because they're half our economy and unprecedented growth. I mean, 43% back in April and May. I personally am predicting 100% growth in November and December. I think it's going to be impossible to find items. I think everybody's going to stock out. Everybody's going to run out of stock because they couldn't stock up their seasonal items because they were capped at 90-day run rates. All of that's going to exacerbate the problem. But they do have some investment to try and adapt to that changing supply and demand dynamics, and it may help the longer-term aspect. But basically, they've never seen as much disruption to worldwide supply chains as they have in the last few months, right? So like this Q4 will be very different than any that they've ever seen before. Global supply chains remain uncertain. Lead times from shipment creation to delivery more than doubling. I've personally had clients that have had those same issues. They couldn't get the stuff from point A to point B, looking for alternatives. This is also why one of my personal predictions unrelated to Amazon resonate. I think American made is going to come back. I think we're going to say enough of dealing with China and all the bull crap we've had to deal with, and we're going to see consumer demand request this. Now, all the symptoms are there, in my opinion. I have many podcasts where I talk about this concept in detail, so check those out, made in the USA predictions, if you will. But in the meantime, it probably will take a year or two for that to develop. So if you are a manufacturer in the United States listening to this podcast, there is hope for your future, in my opinion. I think your demand is about to go up. And if I was an investor and I could buy a manufacturing plant right now, I would. That's me personally. So back to the Accelerate, though, facilities, fulfillment centers are backed up. I've personally seen more than 10 reports in the last 2 weeks where items have been backed up 30 days before they could check in. So despite all of the caps Amazon's put into place, they're still breaking down. That is not a good sign, but it was predicted. So I think that we're going to see unprecedented supply chain disruption challenges. Inbound volumes are higher than demand ahead of the holidays. Everybody's freaking out. They're like, I better get my crap in there now. And due to the process changes, they're seeing some improvements in receiving times, according to the speaker, but still... I mean, like you compare this year to last year. I mean, there's just no comparison. Amazon's piloting new incremental storage facilities from upstream from FCs to add capacity and manage inventory flows. So we'll see what that does. They talked a lot about data. Company is using feedback from customers and sellers as well as AI machine learning to make real-time changes to their supply chain. Specifically, machine learning is adapting from Amazon's inventory forecasting model. We saw that they added a UI feature inside of the shipments that basically says when you're actually going to ship it. This is particularly interesting for the UPS or K shipments because previously you just say, yeah, I made the shipment, and then Amazon would be like, okay, when's this coming in? but you could now select the date and like, hey, I'm shipping this on Friday. And then they could use the AI to know like, hey, make sure this warehouse is ready for this item. And they can select where to tell other people to ship their stuff if one particular facility gets backed up. So they modified all the changing demand patterns and adapted to that. They got local mobility and data to adjust inventory. Amazon's already predicting product level demand for essentially any product worldwide. So they know what inventory to stock, what place that inventory needs to be so it's closest to consumers and customers. We saw that they change and muck around with shipping timeframes. They did that during April and May. So don't be surprised if they do that again. They've also rolled out more Amazon carriers, and they're seeing, that once they control that last mile, they get a little bit more control with that. Next topic, Amazon is adding 33 new fulfillment centers this year, and that's going to add an extra 35 million cubic feet of new capacity holding for the holiday in 2020, along with a lot of additional employees, like a lot. So that's going to be very, very helpful. Won't be enough. All of these good things they're doing are not going to be sufficient. It doesn't matter. Everything's still going to break down this Q4. It's going to be a total chaotic mess. Good luck. Get ready for it. Make sure you've got your own merchant fulfillment shipments ready to go because you're going to need them. Amazon will also have more than 80 cargo planes in the fleet by next year. They've purchased 20,000 delivery vehicles for their delivery service partner program and have 100,000 electric delivery vehicles on order. I'm sure they're getting those from Tesla or otherwise. Amazon is expanding ex-border logistics and transportation to enable more sellers to sell globally. In addition, Amazon's managing the end-to-end supply chain from manufacturers through to the end consumer. As such, 3P sellers can now book, manage, track, and pay for ocean and air cargo services directly from Amazon from China to US and Europe. That is fantastic news because who wants to go spend time mucking around with international third-party logistics partners and freight forwarders? Oh my goodness, lots and lots of things you don't want to manage or deal with. They're also introducing a new program called Amazon Inventory Manager, where Amazon creates and manages shipping plans and inventory management on behalf of sellers, which in turn makes this inventory eligible for Prime one-day or same-day shipping. Very, very big benefits. Not sure what that program will look like or if it's valuable outside of that one-day shipping metric, but probably will be because that's a big deal. From my experience, every 10 programs Amazon launches, 9, let's see if I can use my right fingers here, 9 of them will fail and will be total bombs, like virtual bundling. What a terrible failure virtual bundling was this quarter. So that's basically the summary of all the supply chain information. Very, very valuable insights. Those are the highlights. So if you didn't have time to watch all of that, I just gave you that news in about 6 or 7 minutes here. Curious your thoughts on some of this news. Add a comment. We'd love to hear from you, and hope to hear from you soon. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. If you need any Amazon consulting services to get you through this really difficult holiday season, check us out at myamazonguy.com.